Pittsburgh, Virginia, just underway. The Richmond Spiders, co-champions out of the Atlantic 10 Conference, taking on Virginia Tech from the ACC. With Corey Alexander, I'm Doug Sherman, and you have not missed much. Off the turnover, here comes Delani Hunt, the former Wagner Seahawk, though, terminating the ball game here tonight.
As an elite level play-by-play, I would expect you to keep your eye on all the matchups going on, but you know, that's just me expecting the best out of you, my guy.
I appreciate that. Here you go. Our first bucket comes from Lynn Kidd, the senior from Gainesville, Florida.
1900s and bring up trivia and you can say I was alive then. I mean, that's different.
I've only got you by 7 years, man.
It's a long 7 years.
So that means you could remember the 19 teens. Strong drive to the bucket. Jai Bailey.
In this game, as you mentioned, could be the last game for Virginia Tech's all-time leader from three-point percentage.
And all-time games played leader as well in the history of this program. The three ball good by a
strong guy to battle the force that Elijah Petit goes at you with in the paint.
Here's Walls with a terrific pass and the throwdown by Bigelow.
But what you're seeing when you're talking Richmond Spiders basketball, Chris Mooney.
And again, a good, strong drive by Bailey.
Is gone. And with that being said, you will be behind the 8 ball playing in these games.
Hokies scoreless now for about 6 minutes. A 9-0 Richmond run turns into an 11-0 run as Isaiah Bigelow has played.
Of the NIT and understand how important it is. We had a great season the year after, and of course the NIT was a springboard to that success.
So but the way college basketball is now, year to year, as opposed to building.
Right, 30 years later, it's a different game as MJ Collins.
Well, 17 different teams, including 3 from the ACC and 1 from the A10, declined. St. Bonaventure was the only team from the A10 to say no thank you. Those 3 points gotten right back, like Syracuse, who's playing really with only 7 or 8 guys to end the regular season. And if you've got a couple of guys who say, I want to go into the transfer portal, how on earth can you play a game a day later?
And already 2 guys from Syracuse as Lynn Kidd gets the bucket in the paint.
Round game of the NIT between a couple of old Southern Conference rivals. This is the 109th meeting between these 2 schools, but the first time in 15 years in an official game. Well over 60% all year, Corey.
Well, I said over 60%.
Shot clock at 2. Doesn't matter as Bailey calmly drains the 3. He's got 7.
One thing for certain, you do not have to question. The Spiders want to be here, and specifically Jai Bailey, who has gotten off to a great start here throughout this game. The A10's version of the most improved player.
Well, he was originally a high 3-star, recruited by Wake Forest. He committed to the Demon Deacons, but then got out of his commitment after a coaching change when Danny Manning was let go, and so he reopened his recruitment, wound up at Richmond, and now in his 4th year playing for Chris Mooney, who's been in charge of the Spiders for 19 years. What a run.
Amazing, and a great guy. Have a very good relationship with Chris Mooney. Love the way he coached his team, coaching style. This has been a different year for them, though, at defense. I mean, they've been a very good defensive team. You're normally used to seeing the Spiders who cut you up elite offensively. This has been about their defense this season.
Well, it's been a great bounce-back year for the Spiders. 23-9, although they've lost their last 2. And we talk about the disappointment of the ace. Everybody can hear them.
I am going to need one of those for my camps this summer.
Madonna. I said no. Coach Mooney.
With that, but again, Janet was more of my childhood favorite growing up.
So it is something that Coach Mooney has adopted in his 19th year, the 9th longest tenured coach in the country at his current school. His team continues to pour it on.
Well, I mean, you know, 7 years, that's a long time. I mean, think about, you were actually in school before I was born. Oh!
That is how you shoot 66% from the floor. Lynn Kidd now with 8.
Hey, listen, don't allow the details to take away from a great story. Get away from a great story. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I do. Bigelow draws the foul.
Which Georgia won the matchup against Wake Forest. If it got to it in the NIT, Wake Forest, I'm sure, would love to have.
Half minutes, Corey, after missing 13 of their first 14 shots, but since they have made 4 out of 6. This man's been right in the middle of it all. Lynn Kidd drawing a crowd in the paint. Goes over the right shoulder. Kidd after shoot around earlier today about the improvements that he has made both in his all-around game at the free throw line as well, and it just has been from hard work, not surprisingly.
Speaking of hard work, MJ Collins has put into hard work, knocking down the three ball. He has become a much better offensive player throughout this season. Normally you see it happening during the summer, and it kicks in for guys when the season starts, but it's been midway through this year for MJ Collins.
Jordan King setting up his teammate Tyler
Quinn on that possession, getting up slowly. But at some point in this game, we'll probably see him go backdoor and dunk the ball two hands as he gets to the free throw line on this possession.
Yeah, he has struggled a bit, so he's not gotten to 1,500 yet.
Matchups here.
Yeah, I got to say, Kenny Brooks is the pride of Waynesboro, Virginia.
Well, again, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about history. In history, there's always happened.
Padula gets it back from Elijah Poteet. He was looking for a foul and gives it back to Poteet. That's some pretty good teamwork right there. Number 3 giving it back. Ball looking for his first points off the front iron. Long rebound. That ankle looks okay right now for Hunter Couture in transition.
Great pass.
There's that combo. Couture sets up Padula for 2. And again, the shot clock for Richmond becoming a factor. Tough runner by Hunt. Quinn with the stick back. First 2 points for the senior from Allendale, New Jersey.
And great response by the Spiders to get the offensive rebound by Quinn, showing a soft touch, getting it back on the glass. But the momentum is clearly on the side of the Hokies here in front of the Castle Guard on their home floor.
Poteet comes free. Collins finds him.
Kemp. However, I had to go back and watch the tape to see who it was for certain.
Padula. Poteet using that strength to get right to the basket. All in Tech's favor right now. Couture. And flying in for the putback, MJ Collins. Timeout, Chris Mooney and the Spiders. Continue tomorrow. We are here in Blacksburg, Virginia. First round action of the NIT. The Hokies hosting the Spiders. And there is the combination that has been so lethal for the Hokies the last couple of years. Padula with his 5th assist tonight, setting up Hunter Couture.
Beautiful find from Sean Padula, getting off the screen and roll action, and more importantly, recognizing where the open guy would be. The execution was great out of the timeout.
And that is now 1,500 points in the wonderful career of Hunter Couture. Spiders answer right back, Quinn with 2, and that will do it for an entertaining first half of basketball. Times checking Jordan King, and that has been checkmate so far for Virginia Tech.
And if it's not Hunter Couture, it's MJ Collins. Both these guys elite level perimeter defenders, and Mike Young understands how to take out the top of the scouting report as Lynn Kidd continues his perfection off of it. That goes back to what you talked about before. Now 10 assists for the Hokies.
Delani Hunt with the 3 ball.
And Delani Hunt, Jai Bailey, these guys, well, honestly, if you're Quinn in that position, the only thing that you can do is play in drop coverage and give up the tough 2 by Hunter Couture with the defender trailing him. However, that's still like shooting fish in a barrel for Couture.
Tell you what, Isaiah Bigelow has a nose for the basketball.
All the time out and just have a conversation with both Hunter and Sean Padula. Both these guys, elite level competitors. But at this point, there's been a lot of conversation with the officials.
Collins with the steal. Going 1-on-2, tough shot. And he earns a trip to the free throw line.
To talk with the one of the great Hokie players time, Wardell Curry.
I am saying.
Over Wardell?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
When Wardell left, he was the lead scorer all time.
It's not just about points, Corey.
Oh, well, you brought up points. You said lead this game, single game.
Did Wardell ever score 50 plus in a game?
Yes, he has. I'm not sure if it happened here as a Hokie, but he picked up the slack because there's been so much attention paid to King, which is understandable when you're the co-player of the year in the conference.
Well, you don't win 23 games in a season if it's a one-man show. Hokies keep the basketball. Lynn Kidd gets himself in a tough spot. Missed the foot of Quinn, and that is the 8th Virginia Tech turnover, which has been more of an issue this year than in the previous 4 years under Mike Young. Coach Carrillas.
Which is sad. I'm sure they probably do.
Variation of it. It's amazing how it still lives on. And we see it with the Richmond Spiders, and we have for the last 4th point. He had a triple.
Oh, that's right. He did have one early in the second half. Correct. Thank you for correcting me, sir.
I hate to do that.
No, you really don't. And Sean Padula knocks down his first 3. to be able to come to shoot-arounds. However, my guy, Dougie Fresh, who I request to please do these games with, didn't even tell me the game was at 9 o'clock.
Malijal Poteet fouled on the way up.
The game was actually at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
You cost me at least 2 hours of sleep. Just for
so while you were waiting for me to call or text you to look at his
personally, and that's really the way the Spiders have gotten to a 15-3 record in A10 play and co-champions of the regular season.
Sean Padula gets right to the basket and lays. Goes to the backcourt. It was deflected. And so no change of possession. Shot clock down to 10. Bailey, tough shot. And he gets the friendly roll. And as you've talked about, Corey, it's the other guys who are keeping Richmond right in this ball game.
Well, if you watch Jordan King and the way he's being defended by Hunter Couture, you can see why he's not able to get going as Tyler Nickel finishes through the traffic off a beautiful, trying to get a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Well, Corey, as you
boys, I got to make sure to get him one of the shirts that my guys have put together for him to wear, of course.
For our national audience, you need to say what a Valley Boy is.
A Valley Boy is a young man.
Mike Walls.
Mike Walls with the fifth back in the day. Walker, Kenny Lambiot. The Valley Boys, we got a lot of.
Tyler Nickel was a pretty good scorer back in the day at East Rockingham High in Harrisonburg. Padula able to beat the shot clock and roll it over the rim. He's into double figures. On Monday and other reasons, more and more frequently we have teams that decide not to come. And while I don't really like that.
Involved. And if the collective decision is we don't want to be there, you're only doing yourself disjustice by showing up, as well as the NIT. If you're not going to respect it, don't be a part of it.
Disjustice?
Is that not a word?
I don't think so. Up 22-13 in the blink of an eye. But the Hokies fought back, had the lead at halftime, and maintained that now with about 9.5 minutes to go in regulation.
And for the record, I'm the math guy. You're the wordsmith here. You're the grammar guy.
I'm a linguist.
See, there you go, trying to bring the big SAT words in.
Regular season championships as a freshman and a sophomore. Purdue immediately showed, boy, I'm going to be part of a championship team.
Into a Division I program, but oftentimes going to have to take the walk-on route or even go in Division II or Division III.
And this young man, Sean Padula, has his own story. He signed with Mike Young without having ever.
They've chosen the exact right place here with Mike Young.
Yeah, that's Dominic and Bernadette, who actually, when they were driving around campus, they saw Mike Young walking on a sidewalk. Jordan King on the nice Princeton-esque look from Neil Quinn. They saw the head coach who was recruiting their son, but they couldn't stop and say hello on their unofficial visit here to Virginia Tech.
Why not? Also one of the top assist guys in the ACC. Can you think about the fact that they beat Boise? Especially when you consider the fact that there are oftentimes rule changes that you're considering putting into the game throughout the season.
Bailey, another strong finish on the move. Barron off the bounce, no. Poteet off the bench with the offensive rebound. Collins left all alone. As they always say, the best time to shoot an open three is off the offensive rebound.
That's absolutely it. And Hunt recognized Sean Padula was the next pass. He did not go to MJ Collins, so great recognition by Collins to step up and shoot with confidence, knocking down another three.
Bailey, drive and dish, this time giving it up, and Quinn able to finish. Conference opponent was Jalen Johnson of Duke at Pittsburgh in 2021.
I remember the Jalen Johnson game, and I also remember Quinn's game going up against Post. And that was a great big man battle between the two. College basketball player at age 22, 23 than you are at 18. Whether you love the game or you don't, as I believe we're going to have.
Tech has been knocking down its threes after a really cold start. Missed their first 8. They are 5 for their last 7. Collins make it 6 out of their last 8. Against the Cardinals when he scored a career-high 20 points. Collins up to 15 and has Tech's lead to 9. Add to that, Hunter Couture gets into the act, and the Hokies starting to put some distance between themselves and the Spiders. A possibility that we may see her on Friday at 3:30 on ESPN2 when the Hokies take on Marshall, but without her, Tech is a completely different team, having lost 3 out of 4.
Well, you know, anyone would be a completely different team without the 3-time ACC.
At the top of the hour, we'll send it out to Dave Feldman and Corey Williams.
The Anteaters win every time because they have an elite nickname.
Yes, one of the best. No question about it. Well, you know what? We've got a solid matchup in that department here tonight. Another assist for Padula.
Disciplined offenses, but also very good defensive coaches. And so you know that you're going to be tested when you play against these two teams. And, of course, each coach has a tremendous amount of respect for each other.
Big bucket for Isaiah Bigelow. Back to a 10-point game.
And once again, back to the pressure. It's really more of a token pressure. But as you see, Padula dribble right through it and toss it up to Lynn Kidd for the dunk. You can see Ohio State, is that correct?
They are. The Buckeyes already won tonight, so that is the matchup. And arenas may be tough to come by. That is often the case, or sometimes the case in the NIT, because you don't know the schedule from
his way to the rim on that last possession. But Sean Padula's done a great job distributing the basketball throughout this game. Oh, the look away to the corner. That's Hunter Couture, and again, he gets this conversation from me all the time.
Ooh, little give and go, and Kidd was fouled.
But Hunter Couture passed up what I thought. He's passed up way too many opportunities throughout his career. Then again,
you never know.
A third-round game could pop.
Also back into the game, Jaden Young. And for the first time, we see John Camden, the redshirt sophomore from Downington, PA, for Virginia Tech. A-10 tournament champs. He had the game-winning layup late. So
congrats to Coach Dan Brott, who, of course, coached.
Jaden Young, the freshman from Goldsboro, North Carolina, with his first 2 points. And that should do it. Well, after a really slow start to the night, Corey, the Hokies picked it up and put their foot on the gas pedal here in the second half and will walk off with an impressive 16-point win.
Virginia Tech shoots 48.1% from the field after starting 1 of 14. So once they decided that they wanted to be here, Dougie Fresh, they got it going. But it took about 8 minutes for the Hokies to get engaged in this game. And now they'll face number 2 Ohio State in the second round.